Okay then folks, so as me and Jay are angling coaches, what we're noticing more and more, we're getting loads of questions about this, Jay, aren't we? How did you get into match fishing?
Yeah.
How are you fishing your first match? We've done a few videos on it, but what we want to go down now is sort of like the mistakes that we see with anglers sort of like fishing for the first time, the matches.
Yeah, for stepping up into matches, isn't it?
It's completely different into sort of like just coming out for a pleasure session. Coming out for a pleasure session is amazing. You're going to fill it in with a load of bait and wait for him to arrive. But match conditions, the main thing that I want to talk about first, number one, is feeding for me, Jay.
It has to be, doesn't it? In fishing in general, feeding dictates nearly everything, doesn't it?
You've got to feel your way into a session, haven't you?
Yes.
You can't just sort of like fill it in. No, you two have never seen me filling it in out for the best, have you? Remember the match at Barston?
We have. We've talked about this last pod.
But yeah, no, it's so important. You know, you can. It's one of them Daddy May saying you can put it in, but you can't take it out, and it's so true. Got to feel your way into it.
For me, the biggest picture, without going into detail on everything, because otherwise we'll be talking for hours, isn't it?
We like waffling.
The way you have to look at feeding in a match compared to a pleasure session is that when you throw your bait in a pleasure session, there's minimum pressure on the lake.
Yeah.
And maximum amount of fish, because you've often got a lot more room.
Yeah.
They're not upset by anything, by lots of people fishing or keep nets, which are a big thing. They're not on edge.
Yeah.
They will eat.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, you throw bait in, they come and eat, and they'll feed confidently because there's more of them to feed because they're not diluted among different amounts of anglers' pegs.
Yeah.
And they're just happier because they're in their natural environment without lots of people fishing.
Yeah,
and
like
that's why a match just changes everything, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Most matches.
Everyone's competing for them same fish.
Yeah.
You've got to be doing.
That's how you have to see it. So it comes into, you have to first pay attention to how many people are fishing.
Yeah.
That dilutes the fish in the first place. And then you've also got the spread out of the fish among the lines that people feed.
It's mad how many times in the past you go and have a pleasure session. You might even draw the same peg, exactly the same peg the day after.
Yeah.
And it's just never the same. Like, oh, I caught like 500 million pound off this peg yesterday. Go back to exactly the same thing, and like you might not get a bite. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's why you've got to pay attention to what you're feeding.
So with all the issues that people have and the mistakes that we see, I mean, there's lots of different ways of fixing them, isn't there? From
yeah,
the different
100%.
amounts of information that are available. And one thing that both you and me have had to play with is to read the layup on our phones, isn't it?
And it's easy to do. Trust me, folks, if I can do it, anyone can do it.
Because it's made us, we are technical now, isn't it?
Well, we're getting there.
But no, what it is Readly gives us, it's an app on our phones.
Yeah.
That it's a way of purchasing our magazines monthly.
Yeah.
And we can get all your fishing magazines that you can get whatever info. You've got your caravan magazine in there.
I tell you what, there's so many upgrades that I can put on Kevin the Caravan, it's ridiculous. It's just been amazing. It's been proper eye-opening.
It is, and it's just a lovely platform that gives us on our phones, iPad at home. For me, my missus likes it the most because I've no longer got my big pile of magazines in the bathroom that I used to have.
That's it.
Now it is all nicely on. I think you can have it on 5 different
platforms. You can have it
on your phone, whatever.
Tablet, in your phones and all that.
You have it all over the house.
On your big screen TV and everything.
It is, and it's lovely, isn't it? It's a nice way of getting your info, the likes of Improve Your Course Fishing, Angling Times, all
and us, come on, give us a plug as well, Jay.
You're regularly in it.
Oh yeah.
I can't write to, they don't have me in them anymore. But oh, it's just a nice thing that we can look at to get the information that definitely helps all the beginners. The pleasure anglers, there's so much information you can get.
Yeah, definitely.
Without having these stacks of magazines.
And if you find out after all that, watching the likes of me and Jamie, looking at Improve Your Course Fishing, Angling Times, you feel as though fishing's not for you and you're no good at it, golf. There's golfing apps and everything. Just take up golf, folks.
Well worth a little look, isn't it? And so a big thing for me that I also like looking at is that I can look at all my back issues as well.
Yes, definitely. When you're on the front cover all them many years ago and you look back, oh look at me there, isn't it? It's one of them.
Slim. So, like I say, it's well worth a little look. The Readly app on your phone, it gives you access to a massive, massive amount of, say, fishing magazines. What's what most of us are interested in, Andrew.
Absolutely. Caravanzo, coming close second.
But also, there's a nice little link that you can get 6 weeks free as well, so you can have a little look at, see if it's something that's suitable for you. That definitely for me saves in that pile of magazines and keeps things nice and organised.
And it's environmentally friendly. Ooh. Your gear next are like elastics and that, Jay. Obviously pleasure fishing, you might fish a little bit stepped up, heavier lines, heavier elastics, but match fishing, you've got to scale down because them fish are so pressurised. You need to be fishing that little bit lighter.
Yeah, tricking them into taking your bait becomes, well, it's harder, isn't it? It's hard.
Yeah.
You can often, that's a good thing to say, isn't it? When you're edge fishing is the prime example. When you do that in a pleasure session, they're easy to catch.
They're like that. They're waiting for you. You can almost lower the bait into them sometimes.
You can get bites, whereas in a match, because of the pressure again, you need the little things just to get you a bite.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll know that you keep nets are in. Keep nets are a big thing for me. That
Yeah,
they make the fish know that something's going on, don't
Yeah,
they?
definitely.
And they make them feed. I mean, lighter lines, lighter hooks, small hooks.
Yeah.
Make them pick out that bait.
There's like 2 or 3 in one there. You said it lighter lines, smaller hooks as well. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. But looking at your kits in general, doesn't it? But it's understanding how to balance your kit's a huge thing as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
You don't want really light kit, which might get you more bites, but you're never going to land a fish. You want everything balanced, which say there's plenty of information about there through YouTube and whatever else.
Our channel,
can
Jay,
learn how
come
to
on,
do
just
that.
our channel, nothing else.
Yeah,
Dare it.
just watch.
Yeah, no, it's so right, definitely. And having a different selections of baits, I suppose we've all done it in the past where, you know, we've rocked up on a pleasure session and just got one to like pellets or what have you and caught on them. Whereas mat conditions, you might want, well, however many different baits, you know, just keep trying this, that and the other. But he's going to say pellets
I am
anyway.
going to contradict you, yeah.
I've got me. I've said it. Well, I'll not take maggots again, but I always will do. In a match condition, I'll always have my natural baits with me because everything swimming is going to eat them. Simple as that. Might not necessarily be the right bait, but you can decide that when you start fishing.
Yeah.
It's a quick response. But certainly pellets, or like a corn, meat, there's all sorts. Isn't there?
I'm going to put it down to limiting your bait choices is more important for someone getting into them. I mean, not just
Rather than taking loads.
single-minded.
Yeah.
You've got your 2 options. Maggots are the perfect example for getting bites off
Yeah,
anything. Do you know what I mean? Fish feed. They're your safe option bait.
I suppose I mean more for like method then, changing that.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
with you on.
hook bait,
I'm with you on that. Yeah, don't complicate it and have too much on your side tray. We see it all the time, don't we?
Yeah.
Too much choice of bait on the side tray.
Yes, it's no
One's
good
not
having...
working. Come back, try something else. Nope, that's not. Come back. It doesn't get your confidence up whatsoever.
No, fish feed don't need. They'll either you want a non-selective bait, maggots, casters, worms that you will catch everything,
Yeah.
or you want a selective bait like meat, corn, pellets, but one of.
Yes.
It's very, very unlikely going to make a difference that whether they feed or not, they'll just feed better.
Yeah.
I mean, and just keep it simple with your bait choices.
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
Just use pellets. Just pellets do everything.
Magawas, folks, Magawas. But no, as we said, hopefully, you know, there's enough information on that for you. There's certainly enough information ready available. Just take your time in the matches. It's amazing, isn't it? Getting into it is amazing.
It is, isn't it?
But it's completely different to your pleasure session. So just look at the information available to you.
Yes, it is.
So another one, Jay, dotting your floats down. How often have we been?
Oh.
Is it happening today? Is it happening today? Where we see floats like that out of the water where you can like moor a boat up to it, or it's like a lighthouse. Woo, woo, watch the rocks. It's so important to dot that float down.
Yeah.
It's massively important.
It's not for seeing bites for me. I mean, you need it. It shows. It's because it magnifies everything. It shows more. The lower you have it, your
shows
float, the
what's
more
happening.
you see.
Yeah.
And it lets you understand. I mean, a bite's a bite most of the time,
Yeah,
isn't
yeah.
it? When it goes under, it's on.
Once that fish sucks that bait in, it's under.
Yeah,
But
it's seeing what's
seeing all
going
the
on.
little things. When Rich gets his big doofer out on our floats, and like we're seeing all these things that sometimes we don't even see, do we? Because it's that magnified. But it's amazing. The lower you have that float, the better.
Yeah, and that's a key. You can't get better at this instantly. You need to focus on understanding what's going on in your peg in a match, don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, pleasure sessions are quite scatty. Fish just feed all day often, don't they?
Yes.
In a match, you need to learn how to react to the things that you're seeing, not just how you're catching. It's seeing fish stop, seeing indications on your float, how they're responding to the way that you feed, when you feed, and timing of your feed's a massive thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it all ties in. We're trying to...
That'll all come though, won't it? You know what I mean? The more and asking as well. I suppose that's another one, isn't it? Asking people, not being afraid to ask. I used to like proper do people. Well, not do their heads
Still
in,
does.
but if you don't
Still
know,
does.
yeah, still do. And occasionally Rich every now and again. No, never did. But yeah, no, I proper do Jamie's head in all the time. Like, Jay, why are you doing that there? I'm like, I told you last time, Andrew. Yeah, but nothing sinks in with me. But it's so important. If you're not catching in the competition, obviously, you know, don't go and get up off your box and go and sit behind someone. Wait until maybe after the match, and then just ask them. Most of them will tell you.
Yeah.
Ask questions. That's what it's all about, isn't it?
It is, you need to.
If you don't know, it's like, it's one of them, you can't really pick it up yourself, whereas someone's doing it different, they're catching fish, just go and ask them.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been fortunate, and obviously Jay's been fortunate. We've had people that, you know, we surround ourselves with, they're already sort of up there, and we can ask them, and we're getting information. So it's so important.
Yeah, you don't want to be afraid to get off your bum. And it only takes one question. Why did you catch and I didn't?
Yeah.
I mean, even at our stage
Because you're
now,
rubbish and I is good, right? But no, he's right.
there's a reason for everything in fishing, isn't there?
Yeah.
That's what you need to break down. Never be, at the end of your session, don't be despondent. Just treat even the negative, the worst things that happen on the day, and you think, I messed that up monumentally. Why?
Yes.
Yeah. I hate me.
When was the last time, here's one for you, when was the last time you went away from a match thinking, yeah, perfect, I fished a perfect match there? I don't think ever, there's not a thing, is there?
No, if you feel that, then you're being a bit of a
Even
dick,
like
isn't it?
match win, you've gone and you've won the match, you're thinking, yeah, I've won it, so how can I have done things different? You've got to analyse yourself and be critical of yourself as well, and that's how you make yourself better, isn't it?
It is, isn't it?
And then ringing other people like, well, what have you done there? What would you do in this situation? It's massive.
Yeah, that's what improves on next time. You go the next time, it's different again, and then it does you.
But that's match fishing, that's why we keep going back, and I think that's fishing down to tea as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's not a sport like it to kick you in the, but when you get it right, it's amazing.
Yeah, gaining that. I think that's a good thing to point out, the difference between the best anglers and the average anglers.
Why did you point at me when you said average anglers? Did you see him then, folks?
You're lovely, you're amazing. But what am I on about now? You've made me all scattered out. Yeah, it's the build-up of that information it creates. The evaluation after every match is that, why did that go wrong? And then you put it right the next match and something else goes wrong. And it's that continuous build-up, isn't it?
Once you've done it once, you know it's up there. I'm not saying you might not necessarily try the way you fished before and it didn't work on that day. As I said, the wild animals, every day is different. But it's just the fact that you've done it once, it's stored, and then you might try something different, or you might try what you did before. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it
does,
what I mean? I think.
It's all, you've already done it, you've already been in that situation, so it's stored.
Lots of little differences, not one big difference.
Yes, that's what it is.
That's why we have him, folks. I like that, Rich. What did he say?
Lots of little things make big differences.
Yes, love it.
Whereas that's what it
But
comes
it's so
down
true.
to, the finer
It is.
details. And as well, it's not being despondent on your results not improving quickly as well. I'm going to throw that one in. Because it takes a long
so obviously
time.
there's two different styles there. We need to talk about this as well. So sort of club fishing, open match fishing. You're going to learn a lot quicker on your open matches, but it might take you 2, 3, 4, however many years, and you'll get smashed up to bits. Whereas club matches, you're sticking with the same bunch of lads. You're going to different venues, so that sort of gains you more experience, doesn't it?
A little, yeah.
But then on the open matches, you're going to learn quicker, but it'll take you longer, I suppose.
Yeah,
because
it hurts a
then
bit
you
more,
expert.
doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, proper.
But you can't be despondent with this fishing lark. You've just got to take every
stick
day
at
as a
it.
learning curve, carry on going, and eventually it all knits together, doesn't it? And you get them better days happening more and more regular.
Knitted together about 2 weeks ago for me when I'm thinking, right, come on, get prepped. But no, yeah, what Jay said, it's once everything clicks and starts becoming a little bit clearer, it's amazing. It's just, you just can't get enough of it.
No, it is the best sport in the world
it.
for
Match
continuous learning, isn't it?
It's weird because we can't really go pleasure fishing now, can we?
No.
Certainly on commercial, it's different on natural venues, but coming fishing on commercials where we do our open matches, can't really do it because there's nothing to learn. But when you're in a match, even if it's just like me against him, I'm like, right, I'm going to smash you up today. It's different, isn't it? Different mentality.
It's something that you don't know how they're going to behave, whereas pleasure fishing you would.
Yes, definitely.
So yeah, something definitely worth looking at. And
Waffle then, aren't we?
hopefully
Love
we've
it.
fixed a little bit about match fishing.
Yes, done. But yeah, thanks again to Reedley for sponsoring this video, and don't forget to try it out for free. Click on the first link in the description below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.